Hello, welcome back. This is part 2 of my BookTube 2-year anniversary Q&A. These will be all the questions that I was asked on BookTube or YouTube whenever I put out a call for questions for this Q&A. So let's just get right into it. Codex Cantina asks, how much time do you dedicate to BookTube, and has it changed over your 2 years on it? Yes, I would say that it has changed, and it probably changed in that I don't spend as much time this year on it. I this year has been a year, and I just feel like I kind of got in a video slump. I feel like I reverted back, or I relied a lot on vlogs, and which I like doing vlogs. They're pretty easy as long as I remember to pick up my camera and film, and people seem to like them, which is great. I don't really know why, because I feel like I'm pretty boring, but people seem to like them, so that's fine. But I would really like to do more sit-down videos in 2021, and I feel like my first year on BookTube, that's almost exclusively what I did, was sit-down videos, and those to me take a lot more time. The editing process maybe doesn't, but just because you're throwing a bunch of clips into a vlog every week, and you have to tie them together and maybe put music to it and blah blah blah, so that kind of does take longer than a a sit down video, I guess. But I feel like a lot more formal when I do a sit down video, and that means I have to do a lot of editing of myself, and just a lot more like making myself look presentable. Whereas on a vlog, sometimes you get me not doing my hair every day, kind of thing. So I don't know. I can't really quantify how much time I spend on BookTube, or on BookTube for my channel, but it's probably not as much as it should be. I'll be honest. I should probably try a little harder, and maybe I will in 2021. That is kind of the plan. We'll see. It's just hard to find time when you work a full-time job outside of the home. But I didn't really do that much when I was working from home either, so I don't know. I'm having an existential crisis right now. Thanks, Una. My friend Tanya from the Sampler Girl asks, did you read a lot when you were a kid? What was your favorite children's book? I did read a lot when I was a kid. I was actually a very, very slow reader and was self-conscious about it, but I did like to read The Babysitter's Club. I liked the Little House on the Prairie series. I read like Charlotte's Web, and the typical classics that a lot of kids would read back then. When I was little, when I was really little, I liked Clifford the Big Red Dog. And my mom would read a lot to me when I was a kid. So yeah, I feel like I consumed a lot of books when I was younger. But I was not a fan of like reading for school. And when they would like make you read in class, I was really nervous about it. To the point where they put me in a remedial reading class. And I did not like it. It was just me in a room with a teacher trying to like read on the screen as the like shadow passed over the words, and it was very stressful. So I feel like I probably didn't read as much as I would have liked to when I was a kid, but that was like my favorite subject in high school was English. So that's kind of what propelled me to get an English degree, because that was what I was best at. Even though I was slow at it, I comprehended English and history and that kind of thing way better, way better than math. Remembered Reads asks, what has been your best, worst, funniest, and weirdest experiences in your 2 years on BookTube? The funniest thing that I did on YouTube was my the book tag that I did with my friend Marcia, because we were just totally not, we had no idea what we were doing, and we just laughed the whole time, and it was just totally off the cuff, and it's probably the most ridiculous thing I have on my channel, but it was fun. And I would totally do another video with her sometime, and maybe we would be a little less awkward. I don't know. We both have YouTube channels, but like Marsha's are never, you never really see her face. And well, she does do some vlogs, but she hasn't in a while. She usually, she's an artist, so you see like what she's doing on the table, and I just never really have anybody else in my videos with me. So that was definitely funny and weird all at the same time. And then, like I said, just my best moments on BookTube have just been the interactions with people. Probably the most fun I had when I started was when like the hosts of readathons I was doing would post comments, or like the first time somebody asked me to co-host something with them, or just like things that happen that I'm like, holy cow, what's happening? Like, how do these people even know who I am? So yeah, those are always fun experiences. And yeah, my friends will laugh that I am a serial joiner because I like to join all the things, but that's just because like I'm so in shock that people would ask me to like co-host things and and want to do things with me, and I'm just like, well, yeah, sure. Thank you for asking me. Yes, I will do that thing, even though I have 5,000 other things that I am involved in right now. Yeah, no problem. We'll just add an extra hour to the day. No problem. My friend Sarah over at the Bookish Knitter asks, do you prefer longer audiobooks or shorter audiobooks? I don't really know. I guess probably like anything. The shorter books make me feel more accomplished, but I would think that I enjoy a longer audiobook, a longer book on audio, just because it makes it go faster and I can listen to it more often. But I am finding with classics, even though it is helpful to have an audiobook, sometimes, depending on the narrator and the language in the classic, I have a harder time focusing on it and retaining it if it's on audiobook. So while I do enjoy longer audiobooks, they are typically classics, and I typically have a little harder time focusing on them. So, but yeah, I think I enjoy longer audiobooks because it just helps it to go so much faster. Elizabeth Brink asks me, do you have a favorite audiobook narrator? And what are your favorite comfort rereads, if I like that? Okay, so my favorite narrator, I am really, really bad at checking narrators, but I do really like Jane Entwistle, I think is her name. And I can't even tell you what she narrates, but she narrates a lot of stuff. I think did she do the Murder Most Unladylike series? I think so. But yeah, she's done a lot of things, and I just love her voice. And she's very fun, and she just has like that. I don't know. She can just do a lot with her voice, and I enjoy that. So she's probably the one that I can think of. And there's probably plenty more. I just never remember to look at the names of audiobook narrators. And now I feel like super bad because they really do need to get more recognition. And my favorite comfort reread is probably anything from Jane Austen. Yeah, anything from her really, just depends on my mood. I like to reread the Narnia series every once in a while, and this January and February I'm going to be trying to reread the Betsy Tacy series that I read as part of a read-along 2 years ago now with Kate Howe and Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading, and that was just really fun to do. So I'm looking forward to a reread of those books. And yeah, just those are basically my the ones that I gravitate towards the most, I would say. My friend Anne at Elizabeth Ann Reads asks, where is, or I must have written it down wrong. Where is on the top of your travel bucket list, both within the States and worldwide? Also, totally random, do you like roller coasters or thrill rides in general? Okay, so I already talked about where I would like to go outside of the US, well, except for Hawaii, but I've already been there. So I think that I would like to just travel more of the US. There are various BookTube friends that I have throughout the western part of the United States that I would like to visit someday. I would like to go to Oregon and Washington out that way. Certain parts of California I think would be nice to visit, certain parts not. They're a little bit too crazy crowded for me. But yeah, I would like to travel more out west. I think I would like to visit Texas. And yeah, probably just a lot of places in more on the western end of the state or of the country. Because I've been to a lot of the eastern states at this point in my life. So it's time to travel west. Oh, and do I like roller coasters or thrill rides? No, I don't. I can do certain roller coasters, but they're probably the pretty tame ones like that most people wouldn't want to do. I have neck problems, so I've never been able to do the really fast, like ones that whip you around really fast. So I just never really got a taste for them, and I just don't like them. I'm not a thriller type person. Kate Hall asked, your dream BookTube get together or field trip? Also, a book you've always felt too intimidated to read. Oh my goodness. Well, my favorite, okay, so, all right. Two things that both of these I have discussed with Anne from Elizabeth Ann Reads. I would like to go to Disney World with a bunch of BookTube friends. And I would like to go to a bookish bed and breakfast somewhere with a bunch of BookTube friends. I think that would be fun. And both of these things I have discussed with Elizabeth Ann Reads. So maybe someday when the world is less crazy, we can actually plan something like that. That would be really fun. But Disney World with a bunch of BookTube nerdy friends would be awesome. Harry Potter World, come on, people. And a book that I have felt too intimidated to read. At this point, probably not many, but probably anything Russian would probably intimidate me. I have not yet read Anna Karenina. I have read parts of Crime and Punishment and plan to finish it in January. And that was less intimidating than I anticipated. I just got behind in the read-along that I was participating on and just kind of dropped it. So yeah, probably anything Russian kind of gives me a little bit of pause before I read it, because they're usually, they're always very long and they're always depressing. I did read War and Peace, and that was very good, but it was very depressing at times. Yeah, Russians, anything Russian. Emily from Novell Novels asks, what was your favorite video you made? And what was the first book you wanted to throw at the wall? Favorite video I made? I don't really know, honestly. I don't know. Probably, because I don't really do anything that's like that, like out of the ordinary. I like some of the TBR videos that I do for readathons. I liked the Cloak and Dagger Christmas one I did this year when I wore my like little fedora hat thing. And I think, one of the Jane Austen Julys that I did a TBR for, I just thought was fun because I like had my fancy little teacup and I was all dressed up. I think I just like doing any of the videos that I can think of where I can like dress up a little bit. So Victober was really fun this year. Just to be able to dress up in and to do the choose your own adventure thing was really fun. Yeah, just very exciting. What was the first book that I ever wanted to throw at the wall? Moby Dick, definitely. I will never reread that book. In fact, my friend gave me one of those scratch off posters with a bunch of classics on it that I want to work my way through starting this year. Most of them are going to be rereads for me, but I'm going to mark off Moby Dick right off the bat because I will not reread that book. I hate that book so much. So yeah, that one definitely throw that one at the wall. Throw it in a fire. My friend Joe Smith asks, is there a beloved classic book that you just don't like? Which are your top 3 classic reads? Well, I don't know if the ones that I don't like are beloved. I mean, I already said Moby Dick, and I feel like a lot of people don't like Moby Dick. I also read Catcher in the Rye recently and really didn't like that, but I feel like that one is kind of hit or miss too. Um, I don't know. I can't really think of a book that I've read that everybody loves, but I just don't. Um, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I'll have to think about this a little bit more and tell you later. That was non-committal, wasn't it? Um, oh, and then which are my top 3 classic reads? Wives and Daughters, Pride and Prejudice, and A Midsummer Night's Dream. Top 3 classics. I feel like, and even me, I often forget about Shakespeare when it comes to classics, and I really shouldn't do that because he's one of my faves. Mm. Oh, and bonus, uh, The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. Love that play so much. Victoria from A Musical Bookworm asks, if you could live inside a Christmas movie, which movie would you choose? I don't know. Narnia. Yes. I feel like that's a Christmas movie. So Narnia, definitely, hands down. Also, Harry Potter. Because that also, I feel like, is a Christmas movie. I know it's not really, but Christmas is in every book. And definitely Christmas at Hogwarts would be exceptionally exciting. Maybe not all the time, like post Voldemort. Or pre Voldemort, whatever. But yes, I think those are typical answers, but definitely Narnia. I'm gonna go with Narnia for the win. And what book genre have I not read much from, but I would like to explore? Well, I have not read many thrillers or horror, but I do not feel the need to explore those at all. That is not my style. I would probably say romance, just because I still feel like I haven't read a ton. I'm starting to read more now because of Bitter Single Ladies, but yeah, probably just more romance because I feel like I gave it a lot of shade early on in my BookTube career, and just that that wasn't a genre that I was interested in, and now I have at least found some that I like. So, like the Winston Brothers series, that's a funny series so far. Well, I've only read one, so maybe not. It might all go downhill after the first one, but hopefully not. Ryan from Seeking Stories asked me what are my favorite movies, and I'm gonna turn around and look here because I don't really know. Let's see. Oh, we've got Little Women, and I have that in VHS. You can't even see it. I'm off screen, but it's VHS. It's the 1990s version. That is one of my favorites. I enjoy the movie Narnia, the more recent movie for Chronicles of Narnia. Um, oh. Much Ado About Nothing, super fun. A Midsummer Night's Dream, super fun. Let's see. Pride and Prejudice. Yes, this one, this one. Ooh. This is a cult classic that I really love, The Newsies. Oh, so many good memories watching this film. Let's see. The Importance of Being Earnest. Oh, and this is a good one if I want a good cry. Good Poet Society. Good times. I mean, it's not happy, but it's a good movie. So yeah, that's probably enough. Yeah, I don't really, I always say that I don't really like movies, and I don't really watch these that often, but I do enjoy those movies. So that's why I actually own them. Oh, what is your favorite non-reading activity? Well, at this point in time, it is knitting. But I feel like I'm also going to get back into doing some art next year, hopefully. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I like to watch YouTube. I like to watch BookTube. I also like to do planning kind of things. I'm just like, I like to do a lot of the creative type of things. Okay, Tia from Tia and All the Books has lots of questions for me. First, she asks, what has been your least favorite book you've read during your BookTube career? Oh, this one's gonna get me a lot of hate. I did not like Beartown by Frederick Bachman. Really did not like that book at all. I won't go into why or anything like that. It was not for me. And I should not have jumped on that hype train. Because, I mean, I knew what it was about. And I was like, I'm probably not going to like this. But it's Frederick Bachman. And I had read A Man Called Uwe. And I really liked that. And I was like, oh, surely. I mean, I'll like that. Everybody likes this book, you know. So, like, I liked Man Called Uwe. I'll probably like this. I did not like it at all. Oh, gosh. And what has been your favorite book since starting BookTube? And I think it's going to be Sweep, The Story of a Girl and Her Monster. That one just really, really impressed me for being a middle grade book. It's probably, I mean, just because you, like, if you're not used to reading middle grade, you just kind of think that it's middle grade's going to be fluffy and stuff like that. But this was not. It was historical. It was, magical. It, dealt with really tough topics. It was beautifully written. That one sticks out in my mind as just being really a fantastic read. Tia also asks, how much time do you spend watching BookTube? Too much time. Too much time. I don't even know. But if I'm not listening to an audiobook, the chances of BookTube at least being on in the background is probably 100%. Because, I live alone, so I'm just doing housework and I have to have some kind of sound. So it's either an audiobook or BookTube, like 100% of the time. Which is also why I don't watch a lot of movies, because I'm constantly watching BookTube. And she asks, how do you balance life, work, reading, hobbies, filming, and watching videos? I don't. I don't balance them at all. If I'm doing, if I am prioritizing filming and reading, then housework and socializing goes out the window. If I'm prioritizing socializing and, making sure my house looks nice or wanting to knit or do other things, then the filming aspect goes out the window. So, yeah, I'm not very good at balancing all of those activities. I don't know how you people with kids and husbands and full-time jobs and I don't know how you also do BookTube. PJ Reads says, tell us a little about where you live now and where you've lived in the past. Beautiful sites near you, your public library, and other favorite places. Well, let's see. I have basically lived in the same town in Pennsylvania my whole life. I briefly went away for college for 4 years, but it was still close to my hometown. So I didn't really feel like it was, much different from where I am now. I've always kind of lived in a smaller town, and I like it that way. I have traveled to many bigger cities. There is Pittsburgh is closer to me. So I've been there, but it honestly is not a place I would want to live. I like to live on the outskirts and just have more of the small town vibe. Still be able to get to the things that big cities provide, but not having to feel like I need to have tons of traffic and noise all the time and the crime rates and all that stuff. I like living in a small town. My librarian knows me, probably just because I'm in there all the time. And yeah, it's just like my parents grew up here. Most of my family is here, so yeah, it's nice and cozy to know that people know who you are, and even if they don't know you personally, they've probably seen you at the store multiple times. So yeah, I like where I live. I don't really have any desire to leave it, at least not right now. Petra from Books with Petra and Petra U on YouTube asks, what are your favorite Victorian classics? I think I said Wives and Daughters. I also like Oliver Twist. I know that's kind of a controversial thing, but I do like that. Let's see. I pretty much like anything by Elizabeth Gaskell. I like anything by Oscar Wilde, pretty much. My favorite is The Importance of Being Earnest, which I said before. Yeah, I'm pretty much open to pretty much all Victorian literature. But I also, let's see, I'm trying to think of some of the other. I really did like Vanity Fair that I read with my friend Tara at Buzzword Books at the beginning of the year, I believe. It was a little bit harder to get through. There were some sloggy bits, but I really did like the overall story of it and would like to read it again, I think. Catherine Williams asked what made me want to start my channel, and I believe that I already talked about that in part 1, so I will direct you over there because this video is already getting kind of long too. Bobby Sue Davis asks, Jane Austen or Charlotte Bronte, which do you prefer? Jane Austen, hands down. But I will say, in relation to to Petra's question, I forgot about, I do love Jane Eyre. So that is definitely a favorite of mine as well. So I do like the Brontes, but I have not read enough of them yet to really say definitively if they are favorite authors for me, especially Charlotte. But I have read all of Jane Austen, so I can say definitively that I like everything that she's read or that she's written. So she's definitely the one I prefer at this point in time. And last but not least, this has been a very long video. J.E. Crow asks, when you were younger, did you ever wish you had a different name? If so, what was it? And what is your all-time favorite book? Well, no, I don't think that I ever really did. I mean, there might have been a brief period that I was kind of like, oh, I wish I had a more, common name or something like that. But my actual name, my real name is Lorraine. So, it's not like that weird. So, but I actually preferred to be called Rainey all through high school and college and my growing up years. Pretty much everybody called me Rainey, even though my real name is Lorraine. Like, I had very few people in my life that called me Lorraine. And then it wasn't until I graduated college and started like applying for jobs and putting my name on like applications and and audition sheets and things like that I would start putting down Lorraine, so then people would start calling me that. So actually, it's funny because my entire family, all of my friends growing up, everybody calls me Rainy. But then when I met my ex-boyfriend now, he called me Lorraine because he met me like after college. And so it was always really weird because I tried to make him call me Rainy at one point because I'm like, that's just not going to make sense. You know, like my whole family calls me Rainy. If you're going to be around, you're going to have to start calling me Rainy. But we couldn't get into that. So, and now it doesn't matter, but it is just weird to think about, like, man, people now in my real life are probably going to know me as Lorraine, but then BookTube people know me as Rainy, and my growing up friends know me as Rainy. So yeah, I never really had a name crisis because I could pick whichever one I wanted. And what is my all-time favorite book? I don't even know. That's like asking to pick a favorite pet or a favorite child. I don't even know. I would probably, geez, I really can't say. I was going to say Pride and Prejudice, but I'm not even sure that that's true because this year I read Persuasion and I really, really, really loved that. I might say Wives and Daughters, but again, I've only read that once. So to say it's my favorite of all times, I don't know because maybe next time I read it, it won't feel as good, you know? Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard question to end on, but I can't answer it. I can't. I love all the books except for Moby Dick and Catcher in the Rye. No. All right, friends. Well, if you have stuck it out through 2 parts of this video, then I commend you. And I am happy to still be with you on BookTube 2 years later, and I'm very grateful that you are here with me, and I hope that we have many more years together. If BookTube is still a thing many years from now, I hope that I'm still here, and I hope that you're still here. So, until my next video, friends, bye!